Hello, everybody. I'm Del Shores.
And I'm Emerson Collins, and you're watching The Del and Emerson Show.
Straight talk.
Real gay. Hi, Del Shores.
Hello, Emerson Collins. How are you?
I know we said you were going to get to do that one time, but it'll have to be next week.
I know. I can't do it wearing this and you wear that. I mean,
Well,
come
that's
on.
true.
You've dressed for the real gay part of the show.
I am. I got this at Target like 14 years ago, and people always compliment it, so I wear it.
I wasn't complimenting it. I was just making an observation. No, I do.
So weird. I found this. Oh, look.
Isn't
Wait,
that?
hold on. I found another one. Oh, wait. It's coming in from the top.
Isn't that what they said Trump was doing the other day? There was this whole thing going on Twitter that he was shooting the bird as he was to some reporter. I think sometimes you're just scratching. I just think you're scratching.
Sometimes you're scratching. Sometimes it's profanity. Sometimes you're accidentally a white supremacist. It happens.
It happens.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. Come on in. Friday afternoon. We hope
come on.
Was good. If you're just joining us, please share the broadcast on your Facebook page, across your Periscope, across your YouTube, wherever you are watching. You can leave comments and we will see them. So welcome. Come on in. We have a very exciting show. Later on, we have two guests that have never done our show before. Todd Masterson is a comedian and writer and actor behind a hysterical Instagram account called Gay Fat Friend. And Jonathan Slavin is a TV and film star that you have seen in 57 television shows, including Dr. Ken, Better Off Ted, and more.
And he once played your lover.
He did.
Played your lover to perfection.
Well, so Friday, we made it to the end of another week as non-essential people.
Non-essential? Why do you say non-essential?
Because the entire country has determined essential workers who have to keep going to work. We are not supposed to go to work, so we are definitely non-essential.
I was just about to get insulted. I feel like I'm essential to somebody, at least to these three little bitches that live with me. I'm going a little bit crazy, Emerson. I'm going a little bit crazy because I have no contact with anybody except chihuahuas all day long, and then you're sort of reaching out. I'm connecting with Facebook. I'm connecting with Emerson Collins every day on FaceTime while we write. But I think that sometimes you need like human flesh in the room.
I mean, yes. And I love your new little set back there.
Well, thank you. You just wanted to get me off of that rant. You're scared I'm not going to make it through the show, aren't you? You're scared that the mental illness has kicked in to a degree.
Well, no, for everyone watching at home, what I really thought was, okay, I put the first story at 4:04, and we discussed we didn't have much to talk about except the queer as folk thing. And here it is 4:03, and I'm thinking we're going to get off track, and we didn't have nothing to say.
Oh, we always have something to say. All right, let's get back on track. Yes, I've decided to put like a little behind me besides that Jesus 3D thing because it throws people off. They've got what's going on? Tell the Jesus picture. All right, so let's go right into the news. Are you ready?
Are you going to your queer as folk?
Yeah, queer as folk. I was going to. The Queer as Folk reunion is going on as we speak on YouTube. I think they have about another hour left. Do not go watch them during our show. It's better to watch them from the very beginning. Start at the very beginning, and then you can speed through the boring parts, like when I speak.
That's right. Catch the replay.
Catch the replay because we got a fun show for you. All right, I love this first story. Are we ready for stories, Emerson? Can I do it now?
Hey, y'all share the broadcast and we'll get on to the news.
I love any good vengeance story, Emerson. You know I do. This is we're just gonna call this story Lesbian Sheriff. According to LGBTQ Nation, Ohio Democrat Charmaine McGuffey is on track to become both the first, the county's first female and first out LGBTQ person elected sheriff. She won by nearly 70% of the primary vote, easily beating her opponent, Jim Neal, a Trump supporting Democrat. That just throws me off right there, who fired her. She spent 33 years working in this the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office and was the highest ranking woman in the office histories and in history. And then in 2016, the Ohio House of Representatives named her the Public Citizen of the Year. McGuffey said the current sheriff and I got into a pretty serious disagreement about the practice of him not holding officers accountable for use of force and harassment of women, female officers, and female inmates, and he fired me. So after about a year of her contemplating, I decided I could do a better job than him. So she will face off with a Republican opponent in the general election, and is expected to handily win that race. I love this story. It's like,
it makes me laugh so hard. Like, there is nothing like a lesbian scorned.
oh, well, yes. Well, I don't know. There's like some pretty gay men scorned too. That's pretty bad.
Yes, but I'm just saying, like, that lesbian, like, that cold focus of, like, she won all those awards, and then he fired her, and she went on and said, fine, you won't give me my job, I will come back and take yours.
But a Trump supporting Democrat, Emerson, I mean, that's just already, ugh.
He appeared with him at some event, and then he, like, sort of apologized for it later, but, like, sir, no.
Apologize for what? Voting for Trump or for
No, appearing with him at that event.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Well, there we go. I want to know something. Does anybody else have like little specks on their script on their screen? And when you're on when your face is on there, you think you have like a new mole? You know, I gotta get that looked at, and then it moves to your tooth.
Be like, oh no, your screen's just dirty.
It's yeah, I just need to swear. Okay, go. We're behind.
Okay, well, at the opposite end of the spectrum, the AP's reporting that Rachel Mosby, who is a fire chief in Byron, Georgia, from 2008 to 2019, and she was fired last June, 18 months after she began presenting as a woman at work. She's trans. Her colleagues and supervisors were supportive at first, but she told the AP they didn't want somebody like me in that position or any position with the city. She was ordered to wear a uniform at all times, despite the fact that when she presented as male, she had worn regular clothes. Some of her associates insisted on referring to her with male pronouns, and a reserve firefighter who was dismissed for using a slur to her face was reinstated. She's now suing the town for discrimination. Now, the city of Byron says she was let go for poor performance, saying she let applications for business licenses pile up, attended only a few sessions at a fire chief's conference, and therefore wasted city funds, and did not maintain her certificate as an arson inspector. But Mosby says she expanded and improved the department. And here's the thing about why that's bullshit to me, is because she was the fire chief from 2008 to 2019, and suddenly she was giving poor performance after she started presenting as herself at work. Bullshit.
Bullshit.
I call bullshit.
I'd like to go in. That's bullshit.
It's also like so clearly transparent. You know, it's like you've got to. It's like that thing we talk about where people, you know, if you need a favor for somebody, you don't call them and say, "Hey, how are you doing?" Da 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 da, and then 15 minutes in say, "So I need your help." You have to call them like 2 times or 3 times where you don't ask for anything. And then the 4th time you say, oh, I need a favor. Because everybody knows what you're doing. Just like that. It's like, oh, no, she forgot this and she forgot this and she forgot this. She worked for you for a decade. Shut the fuck up.
And you don't call somebody up and say, can I borrow some money? And you hadn't heard from this person in 3 years or 5 years. You don't say, oh, well, yeah, I think he has some money. I'm going to hit him up.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it's just going to be awkward. It is going to be an awkward conversation. And please, if you're going to ask to borrow money from me, please text me. Don't call me. It's so much more awkward vocally. Okay. Yes, I've had this experience lately. Okay. All right. Okay, let's talk about a Catholic school, because I'm very interested in your take on this story, Emerson. We've had similar conversations before, but a teacher at Archbishop Alter High School, a Catholic school in Kettering, Ohio, has been let go for being gay. Change.org petition identifies him as a man who has taught English for 23 years, says he's being fired because he's married to another man. Someone expressed concern to the Archbishop of Cincinnati, which oversees the school. And after Principal Lourdes, or Lourdes, I guess not with the Spanish intonations that I have, Lourdes Lambert said she did not know who submitted the complaint, but that it did not involve any incident between the teacher and the students at the school. So teachers in Cincinnati, the archdiocese, sign an annual teacher ministry. Now listen to this. They sign a contract in which they agreed not to engage in or promote anything that is in contradiction to Catholic social doctrine or morals, including cohabitation outside of marriage, sexual activity out of wedlock, and same-sex sexual activity. The petition says he is a teacher who does not just teach the curriculum, but also teaches important life lessons. It now has, this change.org has over 4,000 signatures. Okay, Emerson Collins, your take.
Well, first of all, it's bigoted bullshit. That's true.
Basic.
I do have and the fact that he's been there for 23 years makes it even more bonkers that they're responding to this one like anonymous complaint. The principal doesn't even know who complained it. I also go to, if you join a bigoted organization and then later complain about like the bigoted rules that you agreed to adhere to,
that you signed a contract. You signed a contract.
I think it's, does that make sense? It's like, I go to, the premise is terrible, right? Like that this is a school that it works this way, that it teaches this kind of things to people. That's awful. I do also flip a little bit too, but like then if you get bit in the ass by the rules that you agreed to, you know, it's bad, but it's also you knew. You know,
well,
but
also,
sometimes you can only fight change from the inside. So my point is it's terrible, but also it's interesting when you do know up front that this is a terrible system you agreed to operate in.
Well, I mean, for 23 years, did he keep it a secret until recently? I mean, when did they find out? What are the specifics of that? I mean, did he hide that he was married to a man? I wonder. I mean, but in that, I so agree with you. I mean, it's like back to what, you know, I wrote that line. How do you embrace that? You said, how do you embrace something that doesn't embrace you? Why do you choose to work at a school and for a religion? And that's, you know, when we both went to Baylor, Emerson and I both went to Baylor. And I remember being a part of the journalism department when Playboy came and did the pictorial, and we wrote this controversial editorial, and we were fired. And so we were taught one thing in journalism, and then because it was a church, they could censor us. They were allowed. But guess what? That is constitutional, separation of church and state, and I'm with you on this. And
but
I
it's
think
also there are many systems you can only change from the inside. We've talked obviously a lot over the years that it's people of faith who are LGBT that are doing more work to change denominations and religion in favor of affirming policies to LGBT people. So it may be these students that are now protesting in favor of their teacher, and the fact that he continued to work there to make a change in these students' lives within the system that changes the policy. So obviously all applause to him, but also like shitty systems are shitty.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. A super quick hit. Joe Biden has hired the out gay former U.S. ambassador to Denmark to be his new deputy campaign manager. Rufus Gifford will focus on finance, external outreach, and coalition building. He's a long history in the party. In 2008, he was an advisor to the Obama campaign. Then he was the finance director for the Democratic National Committee. He married his husband, Stephen de Vincent, in Copenhagen while he was the ambassador there in 2015, shortly after marriage equality. So just a fun little pop of visibility and advancement and celebrating, you know, our ability to influence. That was a quick hit. Boom,
Yeah,
boom.
and here's another quick hit, and it's not a fun little pop. HRC had to lay off a lot of its staff, and that's heartbreaking that, you know, they've taken a hit just like so many businesses and nonprofits. They laid off 20 of their employees as they faced a drastic drop in fundraising because of the coronavirus lockdowns and the ensuing economic collapse. So the organization's executive, what's that? Oh, I'm hearing something. I think it's your gardeners. It's not. Oh, it's the voices again. I'm sorry.
I mean, I was gonna say
No, I
maybe those
won't do it.
chihuahuas in your
I
head.
will not. Okay. Anyway, not serious. The organization's executive and senior leadership took pay cuts to help steady the group's finances. HRC, like many LGBTQ organization, is heavily dependent on in-person fundraising events, which have been canceled as the pandemic rages. We were certainly a part of those cancellations as well. We have a wonderful new foundation, a mentoring program for writers called the Del Shores Foundation. We had to, bam, cancel them all. So I feel for
I
them.
do love hearing that their leadership took pay cuts. I think that's an important example, even in our LGBT organizations, that the people most comfortable are also ensuring that they're sacrificing for the health of their organizations and their lower level employees. So, all right, just a fun one. The Baltimore Eagle, for those of you not aware, the Eagle is a non-franchised, but also like common gay bar around the country that historically has been a leather bar, a denim bar. Well, the one in Baltimore has found a new way to keep their business afloat while their doors are closed, obviously, because of the stay-at-home orders. To recreate the ultimate leather bar experience at home, patrons can collect cocktail kits, sparkling wine, and flavored rum and vodka. And the bar has been offering online orders and curbside pickup for many popular items, particularly for the solo at-home crowd, including leather harnesses, lube, sex toys, cigars, books, kilts, hankies, and poppers. So for all your at-home personal service needs, I gotta say, I was thinking about this the other day, I don't like the KY, CVS, Walgreens brands of lube.
No,
And
no.
it's gonna, and the pleasure chest type stores that don't think qualify as essential services and are not open. And as we continue on, if you didn't have like that economy size bottle, it may be a struggle.
Well, Amazon has gun oil. That's where I get mine. Okay. I think the lesson to that little quick pop story is think outside the box.
That's right.
All right. Okay. I love this story. Always some karma happens to some horrible people in this world. The televangelist nephew is the name of the story. Lucas Santos is the son of a Brazilian gospel singer. I'm not sure how to say this, and as Sheila, and nephew,
Sheila.
Popular. I think instead of pretending I don't know how to say it, I just make it up. As Sheila, and the nephew of popular televangelist Silas Mafiesa, one of Brazil's most notorious anti-gay ministers. Malafaia, I think is the way you say it, has long targeted LGBTQ people, labeling them corrosive. That word, corrosive.
I sort of love it. I'm definitely corrosive, a corrosive influence.
Let's face it, if anybody is corrosive to society, it's Emerson Collins. You are so, I'm going to say that often. You are so corrosive to society. Has long opposed marriage equality in Brazil. Well, Lucas, he has just come out as a gay a drag queen on Instagram. His drag alter ego, it's like period with a T, period.
It's like when Beyonce said surfboard.
So started posting on April the 20th. When questioned about this, his mother, by his mother, he answered, if she could choose, would she have a gay son? No. If I could choose, would I have an evangelical pastor mother? No. So it happened, and they said, we still respect and love each other. The mother wrote, they are our children, not our trophies. They are ours, but they are independent beings. Parents, love your children, love and express it in words and attitude. It's what you give is still not, if what you give is still not enough for them for some reason, don't blame yourself for it. Parents can only give what they have.
I found it really fascinating because, and to bring it, here, it'd be like if Jerry Falwell Jr.'s nephew came out as a drag queen. I mean, it's hugely impactful in their culture that this giant homophobe's nephew is proudly out and putting on shows. And I think good for him. It's hard enough for kids of religious parents to be open and honest and to be in that kind of limelight. All right, Miss Period. Get out there and do your show.
Yeah, and you know, it's like Vestal Goodman's grandson is a drag queen, which I love.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Oh my God.
Does he do her numbers?
He does. Looking for a City.
Looking for a city.
He came to one of my shows. I think he's in Tennessee. So
that's hilarious.
I'll try to send you a link.
Please do. All right. Well, wherever you're watching the show, on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, on Twitter, if you have comments, questions, you type them in and we'll see them here in the broadcast. Please share the broadcast with your friends across, unless we're your dirty little secret and you're ashamed, which I get. You know, I was that way for my family for a long time. And if you're enjoying the show and you're one of the people blessed in this difficult time and want to throw us $1 or $5 or lots of money, like a cash pig, you can Venmo me at Emerson Collins or send us on PayPal to beardcollinshoresproductions@gmail.com. It's in the banner below. I do promise I will split it with Dell.
Thank you.
And then we'll get on to our next story. Dell, this is the most on time we've ever been in an outline. What?
I said, because people are hitting me up for loans.
Yes. Give Dell money so he can loan it to other people off the internet. All right, and one final bonker stories before we get to these fantastic gentlemen. There's a gay adult film performer and studio owner named Sergeant Miles. I'm sure that's his given name. Who has had trouble finding scene partners and is now claiming that his inability to shoot new porn scenes is causing people to die. Just death. He tweeted at the Free Speech Coalition, the Adult Performer Advocacy Committee, and the Adult Performers Guild a video about food shortages in Venezuela, saying, to those that think keeping the economy shut down is a good idea, this guy articulates very well why that will be worse than the virus. Lift this ban and let us work. You're literally killing us. The Adult Performers Guild responded very reasonably, saying, we are all under mandatory stay-at-home orders by our government. FSC could not possibly lift a moratorium when we aren't legally allowed to work. Performers, producers, directors, and crew members' health and safety is more important. Miles was still incensed. Your moratorium is causing people to die. Their blood is on your head and the government hands. I hope you can sleep knowing what you're doing. The Guild, reasonable, tried again, saying, I understand your anger, but it is misdirected. Mental health services are still available, and we are happy to help. Another performer, Dante Thick, chimed in to say, you're right, your choice. I'm still filming. Fuck what they say. I don't bend a knee to no one. Just be safe, duh. I don't need someone telling me what to do with my life. I'm obsessed.
I don't bend the knee. I don't bend the knee is my favorite part of that. I don't bend the knee until I'm on them.
Right. I don't bend a knee unless I'm working. My favorite part was the Adult Performer Guild saying mental health services are still available.
Oh,
like that is a shady, petty.
That is so shady. I loved it so much. But Emerson, I didn't tell you this, but on Nextdoor, you know, I get obsessed with that Nextdoor app. And I'll be real quick because I know we're running on time.
No, you can. We've got time even.
So last night, I get one of the notice, and some guy is going downtown to protest, and he said, and does anybody want to carpool with me? Well, you cannot believe what he unleashed about you. Oh, you're going to carpool with people. How safe are you? And everybody is, you know, you're not supposed to call people morons or idiots on this Nextdoor app, but people were really going after him. And but here's the deal with all of these people like Miles and Sargent, and they're not going to listen. They are not. They have it made. They have their minds made up. So they're going to take their guns and they're going to storm the, you know, in
Michigan Capitol. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever they're going to do because they think that they're right. And I keep saying, let's see how Georgia turns out. Let's just see in a few weeks.
Yes.
And then I'll go out.
And JD made a real good point. He said, can he get a for fans only thing going? OnlyFans is available. There are huge sex workers, porn performers that have making lots of money shooting from home.
Well, yeah, I have we have, you know, our friend who's a porn star who used to be the newscaster. I talked to
Dallas
him.
Raines.
Yeah, Dallas Steele.
Steele, yes.
Dallas Raines.
Dallas Raines is the real weatherman.
The poor weatherman. Lord, I don't want to see Dallas Rain do porn.
Dallas Raines does not have an OnlyFans.
No, he does not. But I love
But
that.
I'm sure Dallas Steele does.
He does. But I was tweeting him the other day. We were tweeting and I was asking him how things were. And he said he has never made more money than during the pandemic because, everybody on his OnlyFans thing. And now he does, his man also does porn with him. So they're able to, get together. It's not just solo.
And OnlyFans, Beyonce mentioned OnlyFans in the remix of the song she released this week with Meg Thee Stallion. So like OnlyFans stock just went way up. It was like, kind of limited to like the queer community and porn communities, and suddenly everybody knows what it is. So if you've been thinking about starting an account or need a backup plan, like me while I'm waiting for unemployment to come in, it's an option.
I know, and you got that whole house there in Palm Springs and that.
Oh, are you kidding? Scott Nevins would literally set me on fire.
Hey, Scott, Blake and I've decided to start an OnlyFans.
Like, we do keep joking about it and threatening it, but the problem is now I've aged out of, when it would have been interesting.
Well, I always say I could only be a go-go boy to the blind and the elderly. That's it. That's where I am.
It's like if you look at the categories, it's like twink, twank, twunk, and I've now gotten to that last category.
That ship has sailed and docked.
And the hole in the boat is sinking. All right. Well, we're now just rambling into nonsense, and both of our gentlemen are here. Shall we move on and bring in the first of our special guests?
Yes, we could. We didn't talk about what to watch, or we're not going to do that.
Oh yeah. Let's do that real fast. Sorry.
Yeah, because that's important.
I just got excited.
Okay. So, all right. So, listen, we've got 3 things that we want you to listen up. Now, listen up. Tell us what you want us all to watch collectively and discuss next week. We've got Hollywood. Ryan Murphy's new. He re-envisioned Hollywood. It kind of inspired. It feels like by Quentin Tarantino, and is rewriting history with Rock Hudson, Anna Mae Wong, Hattie McDaniel. So that's one. And Emerson, tell us about that.
The other one is a film called The Half of It. It's written by Alice Wu and features a queer Asian American lead. It's the story of this bookish Asian girl in a small town who forms a very strange friendship with this sort of lovelorn white jock boy character. He can't articulate to the girl he has a crush on how he feels about her. So the Asian girl starts writing the notes for him, and then he suddenly realizes the Asian girl is also in love with the girl. So it's this sort of adorable love triangle that's surprising, and they form a friendship as they're both in love with the same girl. So write in the comments.
It's Cyrano with a twist, with a gay twist.
It literally is. Yes, I love that. So our options for viewing and group discussion on Tuesday are the Lesbian A League of Their Own documentary we talked about the other day, Half of It, the Asian queer romance, and then the first episode of Ryan Murphy's Hollywood. List your choice. At the end of the interviews, we'll tell you which one got the most and assign the watch party.
And we didn't say that much about A Secret Love, but everybody who's watched it, they said that it will tug at your heart, and it is a beautiful love story. So, yeah.
All right. Well, so now we're ready. I saw him fix his hair, so I think he's good and ready. We will bring into our show, for those of you not familiar with him, he has been a writer for Fashion Police and Hey Qween. He is an actor who was in the viral series Where the Bears Are. He's the host of a stand-up comedy show in Los Angeles called Beautiful Babies. And most recently, he has exploded on Instagram with a hilarious and viral account named Gay Fat Friend. Please welcome to the show, Todd Masterson.
Hi.
Hi, Todd.
Is this setup? Am I okay? Am I in frame? Okay,
perfect.
Good.
Now, if you move too far, a little bit of your face goes out of frame, but it's okay.
Okay.
I know. When I flail, my hands disappear.
Yeah. Well, I have a very big round face, so I'm trying to fit it in a square hole right now.
Well, we are so glad you're on the show. I stalked your Instagram as soon as Emerson told me you were coming on. I just could not stop laughing and have shared all those new fans all those new followers, it's because of me. I've been telling
thank you.
Thank you. It's actually not. They're really because Elliot Glazer from You're Making Things Worse is actually one of the people that sort of exploded it at the get-go, yes?
Yeah. I started doing the account in October, and then in November he posted it, and that's when it blew up and started going really big, like the week of Thanksgiving.
So before we talk about it, I have a photo. I am very proud of myself. I figured out how to show this. So everyone, as Todd explained—
By the way, this is all so professional. I love it.
Thanks. It's like we've got a lot of free time.
Well, let me tell you, it has, Todd, nothing to do with me. Nothing. I just show up.
That's the best part.
Here is what Todd does. So Todd, explain to the people what happens.
So none of these pictures are real, of me at least. What I do is I go through Instagram and I find pictures of hot guys, and then I Photoshop myself into those pictures as if we were best friends, because none of them have ever had a fat friend in their pictures. They all have the same body. So what I do is I just show them what it would look like if they had a fat friend once in a while,
This one where you have your elbow on his shoulder. I mean, that's the kind of little things that I fucking love. The one I don't know if we're gonna see it where they're all standing there and you have the Pringles can. I laugh forever. They're so great.
One of my favorite aspects is the Photoshop skills are really good.
Like, you know what's funny? I don't even use Photoshop. I use an app called Pixomatic, and it's all just like little apps. And when I first started, the joke was that it was supposed to look bad. Like, it wasn't supposed to look like good Photoshop. And then it just started looking good. And now sometimes it looks real.
Now it's like it could be in a West Hollywood art gallery. Like the shadow under the leg on the one today, I was like, that is now like commitment to the art.
Thank you.
But talk a little bit about like the real, the satire is hilarious, but talk a little bit about the real inspiration.
Well, I truly want to be friends with all these guys. I live in West Hollywood. I see these people all the time. And I am sad that they never have a fat friend, but I want to be their fat friend. So I did this to kind of meet them, and I have. I mean, all of them love it. Everyone that I've used loves it, and I never ask them before I do it. I always just do it.
Right.
Some people send me pictures to use, or some people will tell me, if you ever use me, will you tag me? Or I'm actually friends with some of these people, so I will tag them in it. But for the most part, I just grab them and post them, and then find out later.
Now I shared with you, and now I will share with everyone, because if you can't laugh at yourself, what are any of us doing? Monday, Dell and I were discussing who should be on the show this week, and I was listing people, and I listed you specifically, and then this showed up tagged on my Instagram while Dell and I were working on FaceTime.
I could hear you guys talking when I was making my cookies, and I needed sugar, so that's when I popped over and just grabbed that cup of sugar.
Oh, it's sugar. I thought it was milk.
Yeah.
So
it could also be milk.
Come on over, and we're gonna make Dolly Parton's cuppa.
Yeah, that's for my cuppa cookies.
Oh my God.
I obviously found it personally hysterical, and I can clearly share. It takes Blake definitely had to take 30 photos for me to get one that I was happy with, which I feel like also feeds into the discussion of what you're talking about, of people insta-gays, which I definitely qualify for some days, taking everything too seriously. I enjoyed it, but Del, please tell him I did mention his name before he did this.
Oh,
and
he
this
did.
Is not
He did. It was so crazy. He started telling me, and I'd seen because somebody had shared your Instagram with me before this, and then how you go, oh, that's great, and then you don't follow or look, because I'm a very selfish person when it comes to all the social media stuff. I just I have to post, and then but so then I got it as soon as I went over there, and then he came back and we wrote for a while, and he goes, "Oh my God, you're never gonna believe what has just happened," and I went there it was. So it was a sign. I think it was divine intervention. I really do.
Also, spoiler alert, a few people sent me that picture and said I should use it. I'd already found it, but a few people sent it to me and they were like, you have to do this one next.
I am well aware that I opened myself up to this particular brand of satire. And also, I love it and I laugh at it. It's ridiculous. I do it and my friends text me and they're like, Emerson, Justin Martindale, who commented, he was like, I knew this day was coming. I do it and he says, Emerson, you're better than that. And I say, but Justin, I'm not.
Right? Just
like, I'm not. I'm not going to pretend like I don't want the attention of it.
Yeah.
But has anybody
posting that picture? Is that what Justin said?
No, that me posting, like, that obviously and I've shared, I have a Speedo problem. My first, like, oh, I might be gay things were from being on the neighborhood swim team as a kid. The, like, hot college coach in his Speedo was definitely my, like, first awakenings. So I totally know where it comes from.
Well, I just find that just shocking that he said you're better than that, because I listened to his live feed on Instagram and he was talking about shit that even I was not comfortable with. So.
But has anybody reacted negatively?
Only one person doesn't like it. And that's, if you go to the very start of the page, you'll see that I used a group of guys with one person in particular, and that person shall not be named, but he does not like me or what I do. But it's great because the feeling is mutual. I do not like him, so we're good. But everyone else has loved it. Everyone very excited about it.
That says
I feel like,
yeah,
yes, how you respond. You know, it's like, if you can laugh at yourself, then we can all be in a joke together about the weird issues our community has around, like, appearance and presentation and body image. And if you can't, it makes the original point you're making stronger and darker, you know?
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is like, I'm almost halfway through. So I'm posting every day for a year. So I'm almost halfway through. Sunday will be the exact middle point of daily posting for a year. And no one's ever been mean. No one's ever been mad or mean. So.
But what did this person do? Did they write you and say, I don't like that you used my picture on your page?
Well, I've had issues with him in the past. I've had issues with him in the past before Gay Fat Friend even existed. And when I started Gay Fat Friend, his friends kind of came after me, and then he and I finally spoke, and he's just not a great person to me.
Well, and if you're at the pinnacle of sort of like privilege in our community, you can't be the one that takes stuff too seriously when people at different places on the pyramid, like, make a joke at your expense. Like, yeah.
You can just, I boil it down to, you can just tell that he's never been challenged ever in his life because he's a beautiful, successful man. And he's just never felt challenge in his life. So when I kind of came in and was getting all this attention and it was not really at his expense, I did want to be his friend at the time. You could tell that it was really ruffling his feathers because he's never dealt with any kind of pushback like that before.
It's always amazing to me these days, like, you know, because I've been around for a long time, and I every now and then I go to, you know, when I work out at Crunch, I'll see somebody that was such a snob and was so dismissal to me or certain people in our community. And now they've just gotten kind of older and out of shape, and they're not getting the attention. And I think it's really psychologically difficult for them. And guess what? I don't feel sorry for them. Fuck them.
You built that bed, sleep in it.
Yeah.
And also, like, clearly we all want to be liked. And I love that you do it with such joy, that you really are doing it in a way that's bringing people in. And you see that even in the comments under your post. Most of them, unless the person you picked is known to be terrible elsewhere, are just like laughing at your commentary. And it is a bringing in. It's like, why is it that funny that for you to be in the photo? Like, if you were really there, that shouldn't be funny. Like, it should just be, look, we're hanging out.
That's the thing too, is like, I randomly grab pictures off of Instagram, and I have a couple times used guys that are problematic. Like, one time I did a picture with a guy, and then like 3 of his ex-boyfriends messaged me, and they're like, you know, he's really bad. He used to beat me and all this stuff. And I was like, oh God, I'm so sorry.
That's not what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah, no, I don't want to use jerks. I'm sorry.
Well, bottom line, you're making people laugh. You made me laugh, and everybody needs a laugh these days. And so I thank you. And I wore husky jeans as a kid. So I still, every time I stand next to Emerson Collins on any stage, I always feel like his fat friend. So,
and at the other end, I'm the kind of skinny that makes strangers feel comfortable commenting on it. Like, have you eaten?
Exactly. Can I buy you a sandwich?
Literally that.
They do.
More than once. But the Gay Fat Friend is amazing and huge. But I want to talk about like the enormous body of other work that you have also been doing. In between that, because you've written for a ton of stuff. You wrote for Joan Rivers for Fashion Police.
Yeah, for a few years before she passed away. That was really fun. Just like sitting at a dining room table at her daughter's house, writing jokes and pitching them to her face and her laughing. It was just like the best thing. It was so
I can't imagine the thrill of having Joan Rivers laugh at something you said.
It's so crazy. It's like your parents' approval. You know, it's just like the best feeling ever.
Yes.
It's like falling in love and meeting your soulmate all in one. And it was just so fun.
That's amazing. And then you wrote for Hey Qween for 1,000 episodes.
Yeah, I wrote, we started the show. I did the first like 5 seasons. And then after Joan passed away, I did RuPaul's Drag Race. I wrote the challenges on season 7.
Shut up. Wait, whose season was that? Who was the winner?
Trixie and Violet won.
Yes, that's the Trixie Katja. Got it.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I feel like our season was definitely torn apart by the internet. Like Reddit, like really ripped it apart, and it was like one of the first seasons that people like hated. But then almost every queen from my season went on to be like a Drag Race icon.
Yes. But also, you haven't made it as a like comedy person if Reddit hasn't torn something apart that you did. Like,
right. Thank you.
Reddit takes everything entirely too seriously. Like, like Instagram comments can be bad. YouTube comments are terrible. And then Reddit comments are like Satan's butthole. It's so dark over there.
Yeah.
I don't even go to Reddit. I just don't. I used to avoid. Twitter's evil enough for me. So
yeah, Twitter's the worst. Like, is about as bad as I can do. And then if someone links to a story on Reddit, I might click on it, but I don't stay for long.
Yeah, I really try to stick to everywhere because the show I was on, we were snarky, but I try to stick to like the line of what I think is funny and like where I'll be funny mean of like, would I also say this if they were here being roasted? Like. I try to make that my line. Like, I don't think we have to be nice all the time. You can be funny and big people can be made fun of. But like, could I still do it if I was holding the mic and they were like sitting on the dais? If I couldn't do that, I try to make that my, limit of where you're just terrible.
Well, and that's how I feel about Gay Fat Friend. Like, I'm not, I know that I'm doing like a visual art joke, but like I would be like this around those guys in real life, I wouldn't be afraid of them, and I'm not like being mean. I don't think I'm hurting feelings by doing this. So,
well, or like those terrible gay pool parties that like the Standard for Impact or GLAAD or whatever. Like if we were standing in different groups, that's the thing you would really say.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, what's up?
Yeah.
Also, you're very handsome and you're very sexy. So,
thank you.
Yeah, you are. And I gave to where the bears are. I gave a couple of bucks for one of those seasons, right? Didn't y'all do that all on Kickstarter?
They did. I only did one season, but they did it all on Kickstarter. And what I heard, which is always a funny fact, like from the show, is that a majority of their donations came from the Philippines. Like, I guess the Philippines love a bear.
Yes.
So
how do we get the Todd Masterson Philippines stand-up tour?
Yeah, right? I got to get over there.
I love that.
Once the world reopens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you doing that? You doing all right? Sitting at home?
Yeah, my husband is a producer. He makes commercials for video games for a living, and luckily he can work from home right now. So he's here every day. We have a dog. We have a senior pug. So it's just us and our dog, and we're doing okay. We go on walks. I go to the grocery store every Tuesday just to get out of the house. Keep some kind of routine.
Yes.
I play Animal Crossing on my Nintendo 20 hours a day. Like, I don't know if you've ever played it, but it's addicting.
I haven't played it, but like watching on the internet, I'm like, this is like the whole world is playing this game.
Yeah, it's like The Sims, but more like I never played The Sims, but like, you have to like farm and collect things and build things, and it's just I don't know. I have a little bit of like OCD, so there's just like a good feeling about keeping it together on there.
Well,
That's
we love
amazing.
having you. We love what you're doing. Keep making us laugh, and just come back. We want to have you back.
Thank you guys so much for having me. It was so much fun. I hope like we can hang out soon.
Yes, and stay for a second, because while we're doing new guest things, we want to do like the crossover introductions.
Oh, great.
So we're going to welcome to our show an actor that you definitely know from the 47 television shows that he's done one to all of the episodes of. From Better Off Ted to Dr. Ken to Speechless to Santa Clarita Diet. Please welcome Jonathan Slavin.
Hi.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi, Sunshine. How are you? Hi,
Meet
Deb.
Todd.
How are you,
Todd,
my
it's so
friend?
nice to meet you. I'm a huge fan of yours.
Oh, so nice to meet you. Love you so much.
Oh, thank you. Your liked out your Instagram account just delighted me. So
Oh, thank you so much.
really, really awesome stuff.
Oh,
It
thanks.
definitely speaks to something Jonathan and I have discussed regularly about both me and the community. So
For
I knew he
sure.
would enjoy you.
Yes,
Oh, great.
for sure. I'm not. I'm like the ugly gay, and have been sort of like called the ugly gay for my whole adult life, to the point where like it doesn't bother me at all anymore. And it's interesting, like sort of the classes of gay that like the subcultures of our subculture are always so fascinating to me. So I fucking love what you're doing. Ooh, can
If
I
you're
curse?
the ugly gay,
Yes.
I'm hideous to you, Jonathan, because you are so handsome. Those
You
eyes.
know,
You're beautiful.
bless you. But I mean, listen, you don't have to get the phone call like more than once, where they either do the like they like you but they need somebody attractive in the role, or like it's a movie about a gay guy who's so ugly no other gay guys will date him, and they want to see you for the lead. Like you get that call enough times and you go, okay, I'm like TV ugly.
I've auditioned for every commercial on television ever, and I have gone in for the before of several diet pills.
That is amazing. And honestly, like if I were you, I would go in and be like, well, clearly I'm the after, so where's my copy? Like I would just to make them have to like do it in person, because I kind of enjoy fucking with people. Which clearly you do as well, but you're awesome. You're awesome.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, Todd, thank you so much for joining us. Tell people where they can find you on the socials.
So obviously on Instagram, I'm Gay Fat Friend, and then on Twitter, I also have my personal Instagram page, are both at Todd Masterson. And otherwise, I'll just be in my apartment across the street from the Grove. So,
And I live by the French Market, Todd. Once this is done, I'm coming to find you.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll have you back.
Thank you guys for
So
having
nice to
me.
meet you.
Hi.
Nice to
Bye,
meet you too.
Todd. Oh, look.
Oh, you're bigger. You got bigger. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Del. I haven't seen you in a while. How are you?
So long. It was
Are
like
you weathering this madness?
I told my mental illness is kicking in a little bit this week, more than it probably should. I feel like that if I were a porn star and I was having problems not going to work, and they would probably say, there are mental health hotlines.
Yeah, they would tweet that for you
It's
for
a
sure, like
hotline.
they did with Dallas Reigns.
Yeah, Dallas Reigns, yes. the newest porn star, Dallas Reigns.
Weatherman Dallas Reigns.
That-
Just forward.
With that,
I know. I hope somebody pulls that clip and shares it on the internet as gossip.
For sure. But I feel you on that, Del. I mean, I have said like I kind of have always been pretty upfront about like my quirky brain and my depression and like definitely like I have some agoraphobic leanings, and this has made them much, much worse. Like I'm not sure how I'm gonna come out of this when it's like time to be released. Like because it's like home is safe and it's sort of reinforced all of my crazy. And it's going to be interesting to try to let
no,
that
I like
go.
getting out. I like getting out, but what's horrible for me now is just the anxiety and the nervousness that I feel when I do go out. And, you know, it's like, the other day I went to get my, you know, my mail in West Hollywood, and on the way back, I saw there was no line at Ralph's, and I go, oh, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. I have my mask. I got my gloves. I got my alcohol spray. So I go in there and I spray down everything, and I'm nervous the whole time, just going so fast. And then yesterday on, you know, next door Hollywood, whatever, there's an outbreak. 19 employees in the Ralph's.
Rock and roll Ralph's.
So no, I'm
no.
Oh,
no,
no.
it's not even a joke. It's like, but you do. You know, the other day I was working out, and my ears started hurting because sweat was draining down them. That's all the reason.
Yeah.
But of course, I went to that extreme paranoia that I have.
I
And
wonder. Yeah. What?
For everyone watching, if you have a question about Jonathan, any of the thousands of television shows he's been on, submit them and I will ask them. Because, like, I know him very, very well, and we'll just sit here and chat. And there's some things we should actually talk about.
Okay. Yes. Sure.
I know. It's like we just get into conversations.
I
Well, I just have to say something. Besides all the television, and we're theater is struggling right now, but where I fell in love with your work, and every now and then you watch an audition. I can't even believe you auditioned for you should have just been an offer only, but you came in and auditioned. And when you auditioned for Boomerang Effect, I thought that is an actor who gives you much more than you deserve as a writer. And I didn't write that script, but you and Emerson together, it was just flawless work. I just love you as an actor. I want to work with you.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. I always like to audition. I mean, I love an offer, but like, I feel like if what I do is very specific, and if you don't want it, it's better we find that out before my first day of work. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like I don't want to show up for work and have it be like, oh, he's like, yeah, like that's because but I loved doing that play. I had the most fun with you and Emerson and Matt and Dom. So
for those of you who don't see LA theater,
Yes.
our friend Matt Levitt wrote a play called The Boomerang Effect about 5 couples, and Jonathan and I played the gay couple. And I will tell my part of the audition story, which is I showed up for the callbacks, and Jonathan was the famous person there. And I definitely walked over and was like, hey, let's chat, because if we're sort of friendly, our chemistry might be better in this, and I might be more likely to get cast with the very famous person that's here at the audition.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it did work. And then after that, I said, and also now you have to be my friend. And so he can't escape me.
We were friends really fast, too.
Yes.
For sure.
My life was in crisis, and Jonathan helped me through it. Because that was when I moved into the commune.
Yeah.
That was that time.
Yep.
I do want to talk about, from your large body of work, something that was very moving to me and very important. On Dr. Ken, you played a gay man, which was really exciting, who also had a boyfriend.
Yes, Stephen
Which
Guarino.
is very exciting, played by Stephen Guarino.
Yeah.
But you all did an episode about being a homeless gay youth.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
We did an episode about being a homeless gay youth.
Oh, tell me more.
Actually, it is sort of, okay, so it's going to sound like I'm bragging, and I'm not.
No, that's why I want you to have to say it.
But so it was our Thanksgiving episode, and they had sort of written the episode around that my character was hyper about putting this Thanksgiving meal together at a food bank, and why he was so controlling and manic is sort of revealed that one of his parents was homeless at one point in their life, and that Thanksgiving dinner kind of changed things for them. And so he felt pressured to do that. And they really wanted me to get very emotional about it. And I was having a really hard time. I mean, I'll do it. Like if you say cry on that line, I'll do it. But it just was really, it was a struggle for me. And I went home, we shot that show on Tuesday nights, and I went home Friday from rehearsal, just feeling very, like I wasn't doing my best work, which is a terrible feeling to me as an actor, because I really love acting. And so if I feel uncomfortable in something and like I'm not doing a good job, it's kind of shakes my world. And I got home and I was kind of just trying to think of what would get me emotionally to the place that they wanted me to be. And I do a lot of work with the Gay and Lesbian Center. I mentor through their LifeWorks program, and I've also just been gay for 50 years. And I thought about that when I did my training for the mentorship program. They talked about how about 1 in 10 kids identify as LGBT, but 40% of the homeless population of children is LGBT, and just what a skewed perspective that is. And so I wanted to kind of write to that. And so I contacted Ken and our showrunner and said, this, like, I sort of wrote a dummy scene of like what that would look like. And I said, this feels very authentic for me. And I wonder if we could shoot some the way that it's scripted, and then maybe shoot some of these and you could decide what you like better. And they both immediately wrote back like, nope, we're shooting just this. And like, I was the pink pages. They were like, it was stuff that I came up with. So it was really lovely for them to accept that idea so graciously, because lots of writers are not that gracious. And also to trust that as kind of the 2 straight people involved with the show, that it mattered that they had a gay person playing a gay person, and that I could speak to that, not necessarily with more authority, but with more empathy than they were able to. So,
and it made an incredibly powerful half hour of television. And I think it speaks great to like the strong voice you have had as an openly gay man forever in your career, and also allies that do pay attention and are sensitive to you representing that in the room and hearing your voice as an actor and as a gay man, to create a scene that was incredibly moving on network television on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It definitely, it's not a, you know, I've been doing this a long time, and I have lots of horror stories about what it's like to be a gay performer. So I love talking about the good side of what it's like to be an out gay person, because you can forget.
Yes. Well, and like Del has done so often as well. You can say a lot in comedy that people will hear without realizing they're hearing, that you can't say if you're being super serious.
For sure.
Rich asked, how does Jonathan think that Dr. Ken would handle and discuss COVID-19? Okay,
so I will say that, like, when it comes to medicine, Ken is very, very serious. And Ken would say 100% to respect the guidelines that have been set forth. He just would. Ken is like, I mean, we did an episode where people, like, somebody came in and was like, the guy at Whole Foods told me to take fish oil, so I stopped taking my meds. Like, Ken is like not that guy who's like, what does Goop say? Like, he's like, take your medicine. Like take, it's a prescription, science and all things. So he would say, stay home and practice social distancing. And yeah.
I can imagine like a hysterical video around the very legit content, because it does seem that like everything's on the board for laughing at, except for like, this is really what happens in medicine though.
This is, yeah. And this is weird, you know, like, I mean, you're a baby, but like, you know, Del and I are ladies of a certain age, and this is our second plague. And it's really something to see both the similarities and the differences with this one. Yeah. For me anyway.
So, but this time it's not like, you know, although there are some evangelists who are blaming it on the gay. But,
it's always going to be
for everything, Jonathan. We got, you know, we wield so much power. We wield a lot of fucking power with God.
Absolutely.
Like, but boy, there was a lot of, you know, that was a very different time with the, you know, it's exclusively gay.
I think 35,000 people died before the president at that time even acknowledged that it was happening.
Right. So anytime people start praising Reagan, I go, wait a second.
Yeah. Oh.
Just hold on just a second.
Let's talk about genocide. Anyway.
Yeah, you know, but it's also why when like a gay, like that porn performer we talked about earlier, or like, whatever, let's just do it, like.
Yeah. I mean, I live on a stair street, and you know, the fitness is going to kill us all, because people are like running up and down these stairs panting with no masks, with no practicing social distancing, because they're so determined to get their cardio in. And it's like, go home. Just go home. Gain a little weight. It's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. Like, yeah.
And I can barely walk up those stairs, like, without a mask.
The first time Emerson came to visit me, I live up 6 flights of stairs. And he just showed up at my house and was fine and not out of breath and was super relaxed. And we were talking about 10 minutes into our conversation. He confessed that he came up 5 flights and then waited 10 minutes until he caught his breath again and came up the last flight so that he would appear to be in better shape than he was.
Y'all, it's true. It wasn't 10 minutes, but I was fully like slightly panting at the like top of the 5th stair. And I was like, no. And I stood for like 60 seconds so that I didn't walk through the door like, hey, because he carts up those stairs with like double bags of groceries. And it's like, let's sing a ditty.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Patrick said, such a great show. Love, Jonathan. Thanks.
Oh, thanks.
And we do love you.
Love you both back very much. It's lovely to see you guys from a distance.
You too. I don't know if y'all noticed I moved my candle during while you were talking because Johnny Velvet was worried the whole show that I was going to catch those feathers on fire, which I think would just be like really fantastic if all of a sudden
talk about flaming.
Big old flame above my head.
Like Britney Spears' gym, we can't burn it down.
Tragic.
My friend, I adore you. I respect you as an artist. I respect you as an activist who has been openly at the fort. Stop. Let us give you the compliments. We're on camera in front of people. That you have been out in your career matters. That you have done that for so long before they were giving magazine covers. That really does matter. And the victories that you get in your work and that you do the two things together is inspiring to me and to many others. So thank you.
Thank you. That is very kind of you. Full stop.
Yeah. Amen. All that.
All that. And back at you both.
All right. We'll say bye to you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. All right. Well, y'all, if you are enjoying the show, it was a little lighter crowd today. We appreciate you all so much being here. First, if you're just enjoying the show as a diversion, we are grateful for you. When the broadcast finishes, share it with your friends. Tell them to tune in with us next week. If you are financially blessed and want to toss us $1 or $2 or $5 or $1,000 as a tip, it's in the banner below. You can Venmo us at Emerson Collins, or you can send it on PayPal to beardcollinshoresproductions@gmail.com. And Del, which movie do you want to watch this weekend? Everybody sort of said either one. So you want to watch the Sweet Asian Girl Love Triangle or the Lesbian Romance?
I got to tell you, I did love that trailer so much. So I'll watch. I'm going to watch Secret Love anyway. I will watch.
But for our official discussion, let's watch the half of it.
I'm good with the half of it. Is that good?
Okay, great.
For you, Emerson?
Yes, love it. So that's our assignment. We will do the group discussion on Tuesday about the half of it, a fun little teen romance romp. That's all I got.
That's all I got too. Bitsy May says hello to everybody. Y'all stay in and stay safe. And thank you for joining us. We always have such a good time with this hour of distraction for ourselves and hopefully for you too.
Have a wonderful weekend.